So when you're starting a digital marketing agency, how do you actually get your first client? Hey there, my name is Matt Wacek, and I'm the CEO and founder of Landscape Marketing Pros. We're a digital marketing agency currently generating about $24,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And so what I'm going to be breaking down today is a very, very simple 3-step process for how you can actually get started and get your very first digital marketing agency client. And if you stick with me till the end, you're going to have a very clear and concise plan for how to actually get that first client, get them good results, as well as then truly unlock the door to start getting more clients and getting that foundation built and start scaling so that way you can build your business to 6 figures or more. And so the reason I'm making this video is that I really wish 4 or 5 years ago there was a video like this that showed me how to actually get to my first client without having to cold call or look desperate on social media begging for a client or anything like that. I surely did not want to do any of that, and I really wandered around for the better part of 3 to 4 years to really actually get my first client. And so I don't want you to be in that same boat, because it's truly the definition of misery when you're sitting in there at your computer just trying to figure this stuff out. It sucks. And a lot of this process that we're going to cover is exactly what I did and some things that I wish I would have done to basically get the foundation built for my agency, which has now enabled me to scale it to $24,000 a month and growing. So without further ado, let's begin. So real quick, we'll just start off right here as I look to my screen. In my agency's numbers here, I'll show you guys, and actually we'll check this box because I knew these numbers weren't congruent. Again, products, that's just the subscriptions that we set up for our clients that pay for service every single month. And what that accumulates to is about $24,000 in monthly recurring revenue as of today, here towards the end of April 2022. And the reason that I show you guys this is to be transparent and actually show you guys the numbers that my agency is producing, at least in terms of the growth side. I'm not gonna put my whole profit margin out there for the entire internet to see, but give you guys an inside scoop on how this stuff kind of works and what I've experienced, because again, I wish I had this content 5-6 years ago when I was trying to get this stuff off the ground. And also be wary when someone is showing you money on a YouTube video for how much they make. I mean, you're gonna see some crazy numbers, 100K, 200, 300, 500K, $6 million over the past 2 years, whatever it is. 9 times out of 10, they don't do what they are showing the numbers for. They're showing you their course sales, affiliate offers, something completely unrelated. And so while I know 24 grand a month is not setting the world on fire, I'm very, very, very pumped. In the past 6 months, I've really been able to grow this business tremendously. And it's actually enabled me to buy my dream truck, which you can actually see right here. So the very first step, and you're probably wondering, well, what is foundation? No Russian roulette. So what I'm talking about here is before we even try to get clients, you need to have some foundation built into your life. And what I mean by that is be somewhat sound financially. So have a job. Because of the fact that, and this is speaking from experience, everything I'm talking about here in this video is because I lived it. And so this is why I'm saying don't do these things. Have the financial means to have your life covered, and then $500 to $1,000 per month to dedicate towards building this business. It's going to pay you dividends over the long haul. It'll probably suck for a while to either downsize your life, cut out other things that you'd be otherwise spending money on. But when you stick with this, it will pay off. If you stick with it and obviously do the work. Have that set up, because that's just going to make things so much easier, because you're going to, first off, not be stressed. If you ever go into a sales conversation, you're stressed about how you're going to pay rent next week, it's not going to go well. I can almost guarantee it. So have all those bases covered, because of the fact that you're just going to be more confident as you're talking with that business owner in that interaction. You're going to be able to have conviction in your voice and display confidence in what it is that you're able to do and deliver to them, because of the fact that you're not stressed about how you're going to pay for something tomorrow or whatever the next day. Have that foundation built. That's step number 1. Okay, so step number 2, this is where things get juicy. This is where I made the decision to take the very long way, and I could have bypassed multiple years and gotten to success a whole lot quicker. And this is what you can do because you're watching this video. So instead of doing SEO for the clients, the very first one, doing it for free, yes, that will work. It will work. It does take a lot of time though. New SEO with new websites, all that stuff takes a crap ton of time, months and months and months and months. But then again, obviously it does work. And it, for me, obviously it paid off, but we're talking multiple years here to get this going. Better way to do this, the faster way, what I wish I could have done really 6 years ago, because God, it's just so simple looking back on it. Obviously hindsight's 2020, is Google ads. And so what I was just doing is finding a white label provider. We'll kind of get into some of this stuff with how we set these up and how to set up the whole offer to the prospect. But you're probably wondering, well, why Google ads with Facebook ads, Instagram, there's all this stuff out there. Google ads, it's the most boring thing, but it works. The buyer intent is so good. They're typing in exactly what they want. Roofing contractor near me, window repair near me, whatever it is. Social media, you are fighting with some just straight crazy stuff. Things that are just on a physiological level with humans. And with Facebook, you're going up against things that incite such an emotional reaction that the last thing they're going to be thinking about is your offer. Same thing with Instagram. You're competing against this. Do you think an offer for 20% off a roof repair can compete with that? I don't think so. Not very well. At least in terms of attention. That's what we're trying to do. So rather than trying to fight the war against attention, which we cannot win, let's just go to what works, the easy way. Google Ads. So what you're going to do, go to Google, type in how to set up a master account, set that up for your company. Yes, you can do all the SEO, the brand stuff. You can do all those things in addition to this, because this right here is going to unlock a lot of time for you, and it's still going to produce work and leverage for you and your client without you having to really do anything. So find a white label provider. Just go to Google, type in white label PPC, or go to Upwork if you want to find somebody even cheaper. That can be kind of tough though, because you don't know what the results are like. That's why we do step number one, is have that foundation. So that way we can afford to spend $750 to run a white label campaign for a client. And ideally have a couple grand set aside for this to do with multiple clients if you can. And also make sure to be setting up custom landing pages for the ads. Do not run ads to the client's website especially if you didn't build it, if you're not someone that's good with building an actual local business website. But even then, we still run ads to custom landing pages for our clients that run Google Ads. So then what I would suggest doing is offer to run the ads for free. Again, you're paying this white label provider to do that, and have the prospect pay for ads. Again, I know we haven't discussed how to actually get in front of a prospect, but we're going to do that here in a minute. But then suggest no less than $1,000 per month. That's $250 per week, $50 per day, Monday through Friday. And so what you may encounter is an objection with some business owners. But what you can say is, hey, how much is one project worth to you? And so for most home service contracting type businesses, not like cleaning or small stuff, but we want bigger stuff. We want like the actual renovation work, at least at this point in time. How much is one of those projects going to bring in? And what you could say in this position here, and again, this is only if they're objecting and not wanting to do this, but you could say, well, hey, if this only got one project, when we helped you put $1,000 in your pocket, would you want to move forward with this today? Very, very simple. And obviously you want to work your words a little bit with there. I just kind of came up with that on the fly. But then if that doesn't work, then what you could say, and I really don't recommend doing this, try to get them with this right here to at least have them put some skin in the game so they'll take it seriously. But pay for the ads for month one. First month rolls around, they probably got at least one job out of it, maybe two. And then, of course, assess the lead quality. Listen to the calls if you're doing call tracking, or at least figure out with the client and ask them how long are you going to be on the phone, how long is it going to take for you guys to kind of get the information from that prospect to set up an estimate or set up an appointment to meet with them. So that way you know, okay, if the phone call is 90 seconds long, that's definitely quotable, and you can kind of assess how much of a return that your ads are bringing them. And so then, once that point has come, then you can say, if you're happy at month two, then we ask that you start paying for the ads because you're starting to get results. And then after that, we get to month three, then we just have you on our full program. But again, we don't need to discuss these things until we get to that point. We're doing this on a month-by-month basis. And so the advantage of this is that this is going to get results really quick. When you turn on ads, if you have the bid set right, they're going to be bringing in clicks, it's going to bring in calls, it's going to bring in work. Versus SEO with having to wait. This is an approach that's going to be much faster. Yes, you have to go in the red for a little bit, but when you compare this to opening a restaurant or a construction business, because all you're doing is connecting your client's ad account to your Google Master account, and then allowing the white label agency to access your master account. They can go and build the ads and optimize and run it, all that. So it's very, very simple to do compared to starting a construction company or starting a restaurant where you're doing a whole lot more than that to make a whole lot less in terms of margins. And another thing you can do is future pace a little bit and just say like, hey, by month 4, you're going to be so happy with the results that you're just going to be wanting to do a testimonial video for us. And again, just kind of jokingly say this or whatever. I'm just saying this here on the fly here as for this video. But when you say this to them, they're kind of future pacing it. They're already getting excited because it's like, holy cow, I'm going to be making a whole lot more money. I got all this work coming in. Of course, I'll do a testimonial video for you. And so that's what starts the snowball effect right there. Because when I got my first couple testimonials, that is what helped my business skyrocket to where we're at now from $0. Because of the fact that prospects saw that other business owners in the same industry got results, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and actually millions of dollars at this point of results So it's a no-brainer for them to jump on board with us. So this is really what sets the foundation, and this is what helps you get there faster instead of doing SEO focus where you instead just run ads. And it only took going in the hole for a couple months to kind of make this happen and get this stuff set up. So step number 3 is going to be how to actually figure out how to get in touch and get in front of these businesses so we can have the opportunity to offer our service to them. So if you're someone who's kind of out on your own, you're working corporate or you work whatever your job is and you have neighbors and that sort of stuff, literally use that network to your advantage. Maybe you're in a specific industry, you work a job in a specific industry, and I mean, heck, you could even ask your boss. Maybe they don't have much of an online presence, or maybe they have a website that doesn't really produce much. You could offer to do that for them for free with running their ads. And I would suggest doing that first instead of the SEO, because that's going to take a lot longer. And then you can pitch them on the SEO stuff because of the fact that you proved yourself with ads. And that's probably one of the easiest ways right there. Is if I was working a job for a company that had a terrible online presence, I would probably recommend going that route. Now, don't make every conversation, like you want to flow this into a conversation naturally. Don't just do like what an MLM person does and hard pitch their crap to people that don't want it. That's not what we want. You gotta study a little bit on sales and kind of get into that, figure out how those conversations kind of work. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but understand those things. But so what you're going to do is just utilize people that you know. It could be your neighbors, your coworkers that happen to maybe know a business owner, maybe your family members know a business owner, maybe not necessarily do it with your family, like your uncle or something like that. Maybe you want to do that. Whatever you want to do. I personally wouldn't work with like a family member's business just because if it, on the one chance it doesn't work or something, you don't want that there. So that's why I prefer not to do that. But if it works for you, go ahead and do it. So the next step is actually social media. You could do some cold messaging. You're going to have to put some work into this. It's going to take a lot of time. You can't do very many in a day. You're going to get flagged for sending too many messages. So again, this is why I kind of rely on just the network that we have up here with people that you know, or get out there and talk with people, get your feet out there if you want to go about it, and do this while you're still doing YouTube and building your own brand. Like you do all these things at once. Yes, it's a ton of time, but do not under any circumstances message a guy that owns a landscape business and offer him 5 additional luxury landscape jobs. Because I've been in the industry for 16 years that I've been a part of, in terms of from being at the bottom, being an employee, to going to school for horticulture, to owning that business, to now marketing for a couple dozen businesses. And not once have I heard the term luxury landscaping the entire time, which I thought is funny because the only time I've ever heard that is from crappy marketers trying to pitch that offer to people that were going to then try to offer that to landscape business owners. And you're going to have to get creative with what you say here so that you stand out and you don't just sound like another marketing agency that's trying to pitch them whatever it is you're trying to pitch them. So just get that to stand out. That's again with social media. If you're going that route, it's going to be far easier with people that you already know in person, or if it's an acquaintance, something like that, it's going to be a whole lot easier there. That is my take on how to actually get your first digital marketing agency client, how to get them results quickly without having to break the bank, and how to actually find the businesses that you are wanting to begin working with. So that is how I would recommend to get your very first digital marketing agency client. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. That's where I post a lot of stuff behind the scenes and things where I don't have time to do a full YouTube video. So be sure to follow me on there. And also in the future, there'll be some links down in the pinned comment, as well as the description beneath this video, where we'll have some additional training on kind of building and scaling a marketing agency. And that should be coming here in the next few weeks. And if you have questions on this, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this video. If you like it, be sure to drop a like. And lastly, if you want to stay up to date on everything we share here on the channel, go down below, smash the subscribe, click the bell for notifications so you know when all the newest content comes live here on my channel. So with that said, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.